Hey everyone, I wanted to try something a little bit different, and I wanted to make a discussion sort of video about Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. When I'm playing a game, I don't always get a chance to really process the story and fully understand what I'm seeing. When I'm making these sort of Let's Play videos, I kind of say what's on my mind, but I don't always, get it right. I don't always make the right conclusions. And as the game goes on, sometimes I change my mind. Sometimes I have new information that comes in, changes the way I look at a game. And Hellblade is definitely one of those games where, as soon as I finished playing the game and I did a little bit of research, my opinion of the story changed completely. While I was playing the game, I pretty much took it at face value. I just understood that Senua was going through this adventure. I looked at it as a typical adventure game, basically, where we have a hero going through a story. And I think this was by design on the part of the developers. I don't think they intended for the player to really understand the deeper meaning of the game, unless you were really, really paying close attention, or you had information that I didn't have. I went into the game completely blind. I hadn't seen any trailers beforehand. I hadn't seen any hype or anything like that. I hadn't read anything about the game. The only thing I knew about the game was that a lot of people liked it. That's the only thing that I knew about Hellblade before I started playing it. So as I was playing the game, I felt like I was just playing a standard adventure story where a hero, goes through an adventure in order to achieve a goal at the end of the game. In this case, the goal was to go to Hell and retrieve Dillian's soul, Dillian being Senua's boyfriend, essentially, that was killed. So she determined to go to Hell and recover his soul, which, that's a pretty straightforward kind of a story, the hero's journey sort of a thing. When I finished Hellblade, at the end of the story, I didn't fully understand what the game was trying to tell me. And that's because I was taking it at face value. This is a story where, Senua goes to recover the soul of her lost love. And, it's a kind of a story where you either succeed or you fail. But what the game was telling me at the end, it was not at all clear whether she had succeeded or failed. It looked like she failed, quite frankly. And I was aware that there was something going on. There was a deeper meaning happening. I was aware that Senua had, a mental illness that was affecting her along her journey, but I wasn't really processing exactly what was going on, which left me very confused at the end of the game. And you can hear that reflected in the final video that I recorded. I just, at the end, I was just like, I don't know what I just saw. What happened? So I was very confused about it. So after I played the game, I played the developer feature that's included with the game. It's a short video, like a half-hour video, maybe 20 minutes, that basically explains the process of making the game and what they were trying to do with the game. And throughout the developer video, they spent a lot of time talking about Senua's psychosis. And it was clear from watching that video that the entire game revolved around her psychosis. And that was something that I did not understand as I was playing the game at all. I just thought that was just sort of an interesting side quirk of her character. Just an interesting little character trait to give the story a little more character. But what became clear as I watched that video was the game was about her psychosis entirely from beginning to end. So the game completely changed from what I thought was just a standard hero's journey. It transformed into a journey through Senua's psychosis. And when you view the game through that filter, everything changes. It changed the game from what I thought was, oh, that was a pretty good game. I don't really get it, but that was a pretty good game. I really enjoyed the story. It had a lot of emotional beats to it. I could feel for what was happening, but I didn't fully understand it. It changed into, wow, this story has so many layers to it. And now that I understand the motivations behind it, the layers become even more complex, and the emotional beats become even more impactful, I guess I would say. It changed the story to me from a hero's journey into, I feel like it was basically a story about grief and dealing with grief. But the person who is dealing with the grief suffers from a severe psychosis and also has to deal with delusions and hallucinations. So in addition to processing this grief, she has to process it through this filter of delusions and hallucinations. That was my understanding of it. She had to let go of Dillian because Dillian had died. There was no getting around that. From her perspective, having to deal with this psychosis, she thought there might be a way to bring him back. And any of us who have dealt with the death of someone that's close to us, I'm sure can relate to that bargaining process. And in the end, I feel like she did do that. She did let go of Dillian. She did process that grief, which I felt was a very positive ending. At first glance, it might look like the game had a very negative ending, like she failed. She failed on her quest to bring Dillian back. But when you look at it from the perspective of dealing with grief, she succeeded in letting go and processing her grief, even though she had all of these obstacles to overcome along the way. So that's why I wanted to make this video, because I wasn't able to articulate any of that during the recording of the game. While I was playing the game, none of that was in my head at all. I thought it was really interesting when I kind of look back at some key moments that I played. Those things just kind of went completely over my head. And essentially, I had to study the story afterward to really understand it and appreciate all the layers that they were trying to give us. Anyway, I just wanted to put together a little bit of a addendum to my playthrough of Senua's Sacrifice and have a little bit of a discussion about what I think of the game after I'm finished playing the game. So I think that's an important aspect of a Let's Play that a lot of times just gets left off. That's going to do it for now. Thanks for watching. See you later.